I love you. Take 3. It's been a hard day. Not that hard, but I do love you, and that's the most important thing. And if I mess up the rest of this read or this video, I want you to know that you're 100% worthy and deserving of love. Your heart is pure and beautiful, no matter what kind of stuff has been piled on you and you've gone through. Yeah, we might not hang out. Yeah, you might be weird to me, or I might be weird to you, whatever. But heart to heart, I love you. Yeah. Let us do a read. Hi, I am Trip. This is Real Nature Trip. Old title. I love it though. Doing tarot here. Tried to do one real early this morning before I got busy, and I got an important phone call. So I had to take that, and it was, a heart-to-heart call, so that was good. And a young friend of mine that needed some advice, and then I went away, and then I came back, and I tried to record another one, and I actually did a full read. And at the very end, I got the message, and the message is, people are watching what you're doing and what you're going through, and that you're becoming an example to them about finding peace and tapping into love. And yeah, it's great. That was the main message from that read. But that read was terrible. I was terrible. I tried to be funny. Yesterday I was tired when I did the read, and it just felt like slow motion. And this last one felt distracting. I already feel better. So I feel like we're gonna get somewhere with this read. So if it confirms this idea of, like people are really, using you as an example of like where to get, yeah. I did put the wild cards in here. The one that's got words on it, I'm gonna call that the blueprint. And the one that's got the lady and the beast, I was asked to call that courage. So I know that courage has been there before. We've used it before. I gotta get comfy. Maybe that's what happened, is I didn't quite get comfy. Hold on. Some confirmation water. Burp fuel. No, I'm thirsty. All right. I know we've done this, Spirit. Please use me, these cards, and all this as vessel to get your words across. Extra heart today. All right. Yeah, your heart is like, it's happening. It's being an example. So I don't know who's seeing it, but they is. Okay. I think I'm just on the last read that I'm scrapping. I went by the book, and I think we're not going to go by the book. I needed the structure, and now I'm like, whatever. All right. I'm going to throw 3 out, see what we're doing. All right. Center card. This is the energy we're looking at right here. This waiting opportunity card. It's surrounded by peace. I told you, you're kind of an example of peace. This is that quiet after the storm. I feel like this is the quiet before the storm, before a battle. Like, excuse me, this warrior, he's obviously a warrior. He's resting. And it's like, and there's no sweat, nicks, and dings on this guy. There's no blood. So he hasn't just come back from a battle and is resting. He's resting before his next battle. Contemplating something, whatever. But this is a highly capable, whatever. And then this is just a return to being. So surrounded like this balanced masculine and feminine energy. And this one, I love this 3 of Wands because this is the center energy we're talking about. Because there's a lot of different ways, and in my mind, there's 2 different ways you could look at it. One is kind of like the 2 of Wands, that you're just looking for the opportunity and like, hey, the world is mine. The other one is kind of just waiting for the opportunity, Yeah. But there's so much peace surrounding you now that it doesn't feel like, I got to get something, which I felt that feeling about a week and a half ago. I was like, oh no, I gotta take an opportunity. And I got scared, and this does not feel scared. This feels very trusting, peaceful, like, hey, it's going to happen. I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. All right, next 3 cards. Okay, we've got the 7 of Pentacles. And it's a reconsidering something, like a change. What's going on? This is really great. This is getting really obvious. I'm so glad I redid this. 3rd time is a charm. Son of a gun. Here's your middle energy. Hey, this is a pause. We're looking. And man, the color yellow is really grabbing my attention today. These guys, his yellow sword, big star, you know, big the star. So here's where you are. You know, successfully gotten to it. You know, you're still alive, you're still fed, you're still going, you've got internet capabilities, you're watching me. So yes, you've been successful, and it's, you know, you could be happy the way things are, but something's calling you. Something, maybe this achievement is not as fulfilling as you thought it was going to be. It didn't, you know, it clicked, it fed you, it clicked some buttons, but maybe there's more. It's surrounded, that energy is surrounded. And I love this. I kind of want to sneak peek them, all right? What? You got the devil on one side? Oh, but look at this guy. 2 of Wands. And what was I saying about the 3 of Wands? Like, sometimes to me, it's pretty much the same thing. And Spirit's saying, yeah, there's opportunities galore for you, but it's balanced with, not balanced, but like, hey, you know, there's still some things that you sometimes, that slow you down, you know, that you let slow you down, that you cause it. Like, oh, I mean, we were just talking about this. I was talking about this with some high school age kids this morning about having all these ideas and not knowing where to start and how to do whatever. So maybe there's things that give you some doubt. In the last read, so you've got a really long read here, because I had 23 minutes of, well, let's call it 15 minutes of actual read, because you know I talk a little extra. And it was, I started making fun of myself and I lost track. All right. So there's just, you're peacefully waiting for this next opportunity. And there are so many opportunities. Once you like stop, pause, quiet yourself, look, listen. And yeah, when you can remove some of those chains, you're free to go. Let's see what Spirit has to say about what's next on this. Okay, 4 of Cups. That does feel a little lackey. Queen of Wands and the High Priestess. All right, so the Queen of Wands is the center card. So that's the one I'm looking at. That's kind of that next energy you're climbing into. So as you're looking at these next opportunities, you're kind of climbing into this Queen of Wands energy. And I really do want to read this, because I feel like this is important. This is like a pivot point. Okay, really did a lot there. Okay, Queen of Wands. I love you, Queen of Wands. I mean, I love you too. Are you the Queen of Wands? An irresistible, charismatic woman whose energy draws all into her fold. Ethical, noble, sincere, welcoming. Success. Welcoming is part of that, but yeah, successful enterprise is the last thing. And so this is good stuff, and it's welcoming. It's, yeah. Let's read that again. There's something really, really cool. An irresistible, charismatic. I'm gonna say feminine energy, because I feel like I could be in this, right? I'm pulling a lot of feminine energy here, and so many watts or volts or amps. I don't know the difference. I feel like what this is saying, you're gonna be so, as you get into this next opportunity. In the last read, the Fool was there, and it was like do, and then the Fool came up in the do. Like, what are you gonna do? Be the Fool. And that just, to me, that means just you're not worried about any side things. You just do you, and authentically just go for it. Be yourself. And I feel like this is the maturing of that, the Fool card. But on both sides of you, you've got this. Both seem very introspective. Let me put this lady in between. Both are kind of like, well, she's definitely introspective and balancing the whatevers and the hunas and, you know, the light and the dark and all that. And this one's like, got all this and doesn't think it's enough, but look, there's more to come. So, it's the forgetting and the remembering. This is the forgetting and the remembering who you are. And it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. There's this cycle of forgetting, you know, and not seeing and whatever who you are. And then here it is. This is the remembering. So when you get here, even when you get to this place that you're like, I'm fully in my power and I'm fully awesome and everything's great, stuff still comes up. Look at that. Look at, may I? Let's look at all three. Look at the center card, which have been wands every time. 3 of Wands. You get this peaceful, whatever, and then, but you still have a warrior here, right? And you don't know what's going on. So there's this little bit of that sand, you know, that grit that makes the pearl, I think. And here you've got all the opportunities, you know, are to you, whatever, and you're thinking about change. And then, but there's that little bit of grit. It's just not quite going away. And I feel like the same thing is here, that there's this little bit of, it's just as part of the process, forgetting, you know, like what you can do, your power, forgetting that you're 100% worthy and deserving of love and you're awesome. And so, yeah, you gotta go back to that inside journey. Go back to listening to your body and maybe less of your mind, you know, listen to your intuition. Listen to spirit, however that is, however it works. Spirit saying, don't say, I'm saying, listen to me like a little bratty kid. Just saying, you know what? I had a dream a week ago and I said it, like, I felt like I could almost talk to dogs in my dream, or animals, and I think it was just dogs. Last night, I dreamt that I was around dogs, and I was starting to hear what they were actually saying, and they were excited. They were like, "You actually heard me," and I think it stemmed from my buddy's dog yesterday. He's got this tiny little husky-looking thing. It's like, it's a little shorter and much narrower and not as thick fur, but everything else is kind of husky-looking, and it wants to communicate with you. And I remember when I first got there a week ago, and she tried to herd me where she wanted me. She wouldn't let me pet her, but she kept coming around me, and I realized she was trying to get me somewhere. And as soon as I got there, she was cool. And I was like, oh. So, but I had a dream last night. I was talking to dogs, and they were super excited about being able to communicate. And it really was a matter of like decoding the body and the sounds, and it started to sound like English to me once it got in there. Yeah. But the same with you and spirit. There's a decoding that happens, and that you know, and the more time you're like listening to spirit, the more often you'll see these cups. These kind of are working together. And I know lately, the deeper into this journey I've gotten, and I've said this before, where when I've gotten down, there's a big up, you know, and sometimes I remember hearing readers and people that are like readers that just talk it out. They've saying like that pain is like pulling back a bow, and kind of the more it pulls back, the more it stretches back, the higher it can release, or, you know, the more powerfully it releases. So there could be that situation going on for you to remember, you know, like, yeah, it's never gonna end, but you level up every time, you get stronger every time, but it's gonna reoccur. There's gonna be that grit that's gonna keep coming and get you. But when you got courage, baby, you got courage. Courage came out, man. If the blueprint comes out with it. But the center card of this 3 is the Chariot. So there, it's the movement and the courage to do the movement. And death. Oh my gosh, everything's moving. Everything's moving. Courage and death surrounding the Chariot. And trusting what to let go, being unafraid of letting some things go. I know, I like, if it's about money, like I'm afraid to let go of money, right? Like I'm like, I need it. I need it. I mean, if someone asks, I've got a rule where, like, if a high school kid asks for a fundraiser, I buy one thing from the first person, because I went to a school that had a lot of fundraisers. So, or I taught at a school that had a lot of fundraisers for a while. So I'd always be first kid, one thing. That way I could be generous, but maintain my budget. Boundaries, baby, boundaries. Is that what we're getting to? Is it about boundaries? You know, because this Chariot, the guy is inside the Chariot. You know, like you need the boundaries, right? Like the boundary of a car is the door. You could be inside the car or you could be outside the car. And so maybe Spirit's in a roundabout way trying to tell me that you can get in the car, whatever. Maybe it's saying don't let everybody in your car. Pick and choose who you put in your car, let in your car, whatever. Gosh, I hope whatever adventure you're on, you've got a passenger. That'd be great. Yeah. All right. Spirit's saying, just I got one more thing to say. We got the King of Swords. Okay, this is the center card of my 3, a little celebration. And I'm going to read that. And the 9 of Cups. Holy cow. To me, this 9 of Cups kind of represents the healing that you've been doing. Excuse me, confirmation burp. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Each of these cups is this new level of getting, you know, you're filling up more and more of your heart. You're getting to more and more of your heart. And like maybe these represent to you a time and a theme. And it feels like each level up or each breakdown and repair job or each stripping down has a theme. And sometimes it's love and sometimes it's gratitude and acceptance and, you know, trust. And yeah, you reached a high point in that. Reaching. And on the other side of this celebration is this King of Swords. And what a balance that is, right? This is the height, I feel like, of the earthly, you know, your personal earthly thing. And then with cups, it's about your heart and your emotions and all that. And then this, to me, the king is the height of that spiritual thing that you're so like, okay, you know, we're not even counting cups anymore at this point. But the King of Swords, if I say knight, it's because I see the K and the N. I'm sorry. But the King of Swords, let's read a little bit. An intellectual who is adept at spreading ideas and using available resources to solve problems. So it's all that growth that you've been doing is now going to be, you know, it's going to be easy to spread that idea, those ideas. This is where we talk about that work that you do that moves outwardly. And so, yeah, this is the center of it because you've gotten here. You know, you're fully starting to like boom, boom, boom. I mean, you might be a cup, you know, you're still a cup or two. And that's part of this grit thing. It's like, instead of like repairing giant cups, pretty soon it's just little shot glasses, just a little shot glass worth of healing, because that's all you need. But this feels like the doing, right? Like, yeah. And this is the thing we were talking about this morning, like having that $1 million idea and not knowing what to do, where to start, you know, and like stopping, you know, like stopping because, oh, I don't know how to do it, right? Or I don't have the funding, or I don't have the ability. And here, this is saying, yeah, you're good. It'll all come into place. And if you've got the idea, or you know, you're writing about it, you're singing about it, you're doing whatever, you're painting it, however it's coming out, even if it's like a work thing. Yeah, even if I said the W word, I'm so sorry. Try to stay away from those 4-letter words. Yeah, it's gonna be good. And the thing, and it really is, people are watching you go through this, and they're at this stage, they're becoming amazed. Maybe earlier they were not amazed, but where you're getting to, yeah. And oh man, that's the end of the read. But I really think you're going to be a great example for the people who are starting to feel a lot of pain. You and I know, you and I know that it has to crumble down before you can get to the core, right? This junk that these, you know, this personality that you built, or persona that you built, this identity, it had to come crashing down. Truths had, you know, had to come crashing down to be found, and then all of a sudden there's this freedom, you know, like, and there's this ability to see what you've been doing and like how it's affected your life, and how you've taken information in, and now you can see it. And there's probably a frustration period, I don't know how long, and about the falsities you see within yourself, but also out in the whole world. And if you were like me, you noticed that every institution was really unnatural, really false, really fairly corrupt, you know. And I worked in education, and I have a friend in medicine, and you know, it's like, yep, it's not great. It's not great. And we see, and that's not even talking about insurance and, you know, all these other things in our governments and, you know, countries and whatever. I'm making a point here, and I know it was 2244 right when I said that, so that's interesting. But the point is, I don't know if I have a point, but I'm gonna say it. I think we've all been kind of like hoping for this new, more peaceful world, this shedding of false stuff in the world, and I think we're seeing it, but it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt, and a lot of people are going to be going through in a short time what we've had time to go through, and it's going to be intense. And I really think you're going to be an example for these people. They're starting to look already. They're starting to see, because yeah, you can't put on that much pain without finally cracking and getting to the real stuff. And you're a pioneer in that. Okay. Thank you for sitting through this with me, and I do love you, and I hope the best for you. I hope you can keep that peace. As you know, I know we got grit we got to go through. And one of my favorite commenters yesterday was saying, I'm enjoying the ride. It's just, yep, you got the bad, you got the good. I know it's done it so many times that we know we're going to be okay, and we're going to come out better and more healed and stronger and whatever. But in the meantime, there could be some rough waters. Yeah, gosh, last summer I was saying, there's going to be a lot of people that need some hugs. So you might be kind of that hug factory of, you know, something. Another one of us said, you can't carpet the world, but you can wear slippers, you know, like. And I was like, you know, there might be a time that we're standing at the door and say, hey, here's your slippers, you know, come on in, because we've kind of lived it already. Yeah. All right, I need to stop talking. All right. Oh, we're going to stop right at 25 minutes now.